Have you ever had that strange feeling that someone was lying to you? They look calm, their story sounds convincing, but something just feels off. What if I told you that most liars reveal themselves in seconds? Not with their words, but with tiny behaviors almost nobody notices. Even investigators are trained to watch for these signals. And today, you'll learn 5 psychological signs that someone is lying. So the next time someone tries to deceive you, you'll see it instantly. Lying is a natural human behavior. Studies show that the average person lies multiple times a day. Sometimes it's harmless, like saying, "I'm fine," when you're not. But other lies can manipulate, betray, and damage trust. The scary part. Most people focus on what someone says, but psychology tells us that the truth usually hides in how they say it. Let's look at the first sign. You might think a liar gives less information, but often the opposite happens. When people lie, their brain works harder. They're trying to make the story sound believable, so they add unnecessary details. For example, instead of saying, "I went to the store," they might say, "Yeah, I went to the grocery store around 6:17 p.m., the one near the gas station, and I bought bread and milk and..." Sounds convincing, right? But psychologists call this overcompensation. The liar hopes the extra details make the story feel real, but ironically it often makes it look suspicious. Honest people usually keep things simple. Liars try too hard. Your brain can control words, but controlling your body is much harder. This is why investigators pay attention to body language mismatches. For example, someone might say, "I'm not nervous," but their hands are shaking, or they say, "I didn't do it." While avoiding eye contact, this conflict between words and body language is called incongruence. When the body and words tell 2 different stories, something is usually wrong. Our bodies often reveal the truth before our words do. When someone tells the truth, the answer is already in their memory. But when someone lies, they must create the answer. This takes time, so you may notice a strange pause. For example, "Did you take the money?" Instead of responding immediately. They might say, "Why would you think that?" Or, "Wait, what money?" This is a classic tactic called deflection. Instead of answering directly, the liar buys time. Their brain is quickly building the story. Another common trick liars use is repeating the question. Example, "Did you send that message?" And they reply, "Did I send that message?" This seems harmless. But psychologists say this often happens because the person needs extra seconds to think. Those seconds allow them to construct the lie. Truthful people usually respond directly. Liars often respond strategically. Truth stays consistent. Lies are fragile. Because when someone lies, they must remember every detail they invented, and that's difficult. So if you ask the same story again later, small details start changing. The timeline shifts, the explanations evolve, and suddenly the story no longer matches. This is one of the biggest clues investigators use, not the first answer, but the second and third versions of the story. Here's the truth most people don't realize. Detecting lies isn't about one signal. Anyone can look nervous, anyone can pause, but when multiple signals appear together, that's when deception becomes obvious. So next time someone tells you a story, pay attention to their details, their body language, their response time, their reactions. Because the truth is, people may control their words, but their behavior often tells the real story. And once you start noticing these signals, you'll never listen to people the same way again.